with our eminent speaker, Yogi Eric, especially from USA. And it's such a great pleasure to have you, sir, here on Voice of Yoga regular talk show by Yoga Sikshak Sangh. So we
Namaste.
namaste. As from our Indian audience, I am also doing the same word for you from my Indian audience and yoga teachers, especially for you. So, sir, I just want to let you know something about Yoga Teachers Association, that is Yoga Sikshak Sangha. Actually, Yoga Sikshak Sangh is a Hindi word that means, an organization, an association of yoga teachers across India and across world as well. We are an NGO organization, non-government organization to support and fulfill all the activities and all the needs of yoga teacher.
Wow, that's a big association. Wonderful.
So, sir, it's a really a great pleasure to have you today in our regular talk show, sir.
No,
So,
my pleasure. My
uh,
pleasure.
yes, sir. So, in this whole session, we will ask you five major questions regarding to your yoga journey, regarding to your yoga and spirituality, and so on. So, I hope you are ready, sir.
I'm ready.
Okay, sir. So, my first question is like, just let the world know that who Yogi Eric is.
How many hours do we have?
We have 30 minutes, 30 minutes to 45 minutes.
I'm just joking. Well, uh, in my career, I have been doing fitness centers and yoga centers for 40 years. I'm from Canada, and I started in Canada and
Okay.
opened up my first clubs in Canada, went to United States, then I went to Asia. I opened up all through Asia, and really started the first major yoga centers. The the one when I my first one that I opened up in Hong Kong was 3,000 square meters,
Oh.
and everyone at that time, it was 23 years ago,
Hmm.
and I had all these big fitness centers around the world. And I'll tell you a little bit about my yoga journey in a minute, but since you asked me that question, and yoga, there was one class once a week in the fitness centers, and two or three people would come, and the yoga teacher was a dentist or a lawyer normally, and then would teach yoga for their hobby. So it was actually, I don't want to say it, but it was almost extinct. It wasn't in America, there wasn't any yoga centers. If there was, it would be on the fifth floor in the back of somebody's house. And even in India, I mean, it wasn't prevalent at all. I went all through Asia, nothing. And I always wanted to see how I could bring back the yoga movement a little bit with what I could do. And it's a very interesting story. I had fitness centers, California fitness centers in Singapore as one of the countries, and I met a yogi. He was an illegal construction worker in Singapore, not a good thing to do. And I met him on the street. And to make a long story short, he told me, I'm not a yoga teacher, I'm a yogi. I'm third generation. My family is, I was born into a yoga family. And immediately I could sense that he had the power, he had the city clear on the power of attraction. No question about it. But he didn't look good. He was sleeping outside. And I gave him a shot. I said, okay, sleep at the hotel tonight. Here's some money, clean up because you're not presentable. Make a long story short, within 1 week, there was 100 people attending his class and 100 people waiting to get into his next class. I then decided that I'm going to send him back to India because he had to get his immigration papers. And he went back to India, and I said, I need 10 yogis. They have to be yogis. I don't want anyone who's had 100 hours of teaching. These people have to have the philosophy. Their parents, they're vegetarian. They have to be yogis, and find them. And he did. And I opened up in Hong Kong less than a few months later. We opened up in, and I don't know if you've ever been to Hong Kong, but Hong Kong is an expensive place. So without any warning, I found this building in the central of Hong Kong. The rent of the yoga center was 125,000 US dollars a month.
Oh,
Big deal.
big
A
deal.
month.
Yes, a month.
And we
Yes.
called it Planet Yoga. And we brought the 10 yogis in, and we started with probably we had 40, 50 classes a day, each different style of yoga, meditation, chanting, breath, pranayama, the whole works. And 2 months, within 2, 3 months, we had over 30,000 people a month taking yoga from that first fitness center. And from there, we opened up all over Asia through Singapore and Taiwan, Thailand,
Vietnam,
China,
Vietnam,
and brought
Vietnam.
it back to America.
That's
Brought
right.
this first yogi back to Santa Monica. Today in Santa Monica, California, in every corner, next, there's more yoga centers than 7-Eleven. And now it's full. Every corner in the world is full of yoga. And I think that one yogi was very responsible for reconnecting everybody, especially Americans, to yoga. So it's very exciting. I'm very proud to have been a very small part of getting people back into the yoga world.
Perfect, perfect. It's a really amazing story. It was like sometimes found out we find out that what you are telling is like a mere speculation, speculations for a normal person. But it was a true, and we know very well that it's the really great ideological winning for you, and for not only for you, in fact, for whole yoga industry. However, Mr. Rick, we just need to know that if we talk about like yoga, and if we talk about spirituality, so how we can segregate in the manner of business. Like one person always told that I am a yogi, I am a yoga person, and that another second time of a normal person used to say that he is a businessman also inside the yogi. You understand, in whole world this phenomena is suffering with, like, each and everyone, either he is yogi or he is a businessman, right? So in which manner you are looking forward?
That's that's a wonderful question and a very, very important question because actually there should never be a separation. It should always be a union. And it's just like preparing for yoga. You have to know what to do. You have to know what's the preparation. You have to know the sequence, and you have to know what happens after. If you're not prepared to do yoga, you're going to have a terrible time. It's not going to be harmonious. It's not going to be beneficial. It'll be painful. When you go into any business, you are a lawyer, a dentist, a carpenter, you have to know the business. You have to know the business. If you're the owner of the business, you
Yes,
have
yes.
to know the whole spectrum of what it takes to stay alive, to prosper, and to attract customers. So if you're a yogi and your life is yoga and you don't know anything about business, I recommend that you do educate yourself on business. Now, there's thousands of yogis around the world now that have managed to meet business people and work together with them where they provide all of the services, just like I had in my company. We had the business performa done for them. We did the marketing, we did the recruitment, we provided the locations and everything, but they provided the software, we provided the hardware. So that's the ideal position for you to begin with. Make sure you're a yogi, make sure you have your side down. And when you're a yogi in business, it's not enough to have perfect asanas or perfect knowledge. You have to be able to transmit that to your students. I would hire somebody who's more personal and lovely to be around, but maybe not as efficient as a yogi who is the greatest whatever, but can't relate to people. So make sure that if you're in business, you know how to relate to people. At the beginning, find a situation where you can learn from the business people and get yourself involved and ask questions and get yourself involved so you understand that side of the business. If your wish is to own your own yoga center, you have to go to school to learn the business. And that could be working together in the other yoga center when you were a yogi and, you know, trying to learn the business. But don't make the mistake of thinking that because you can wrap your legs 5 times around your head or be in a handstand for a few hours, that you're going to be successful in business. That's not the case. Learn your trade and learn the business. So it has to be harmonious.
Perfect, perfect. So, the same time, a common question again came in our mind. That is, if a person, the definition of a management actually told that getting things done from other. All right, getting things done from other effectively and efficiently. What Peter F. Drucker, the management guru of USA, always told to us in our management book, in our business book. So, just need to know, being a yogi, if we ask like if we tell to like getting things done from other, which other phenomena we are looking, the same yogi or the same businessman? As you told to us that the businessman should be a separate entity and the yogi should be a separate entity, whether they have to connect it together. All right, isn't it?
Yes. At the beginning, I mean, we brought the yogis that we brought, they came from the back ends of India. They didn't come from New Delhi. They didn't come from Bombay. They
Yes,
came from families that,
yes,
I mean, they could not have been in business in any type of business. They were yogis, period. It takes a while. I mean, we had to teach them how to look. We had to teach them how to interact with the people. And we eventually came up with a school. We trained them on how to be presentable as a yoga teacher. Yes, you're a yogi, but if you can't make that connection, it's not worth it. When you start off in business, like anything else, with your first yoga class, you weren't very good. You had all the energy, you wanted to be good, but it took time. It takes time to learn business. There's no difference. You want to go to the best place you can. You know, it's like go to the most successful yoga center. Go directly there and start working with the best people. Sooner or later, you're going to learn from the other yogis exactly what it is that makes them successful. You'll ask the business people, what are they looking for? Here's very important for all yogis to understand. You have to think about what's best for your ideal client, not what's best for you. Okay, I'm going to put this pose, this pose, this pose, this pose. We're going to do that. If that's what the customer, the client came for, that's wonderful. Put the ego aside and ask yourself, am I serving my students with exactly what they need? Or am I giving them what I think they need? That's a big difference. So
yes.
understand that first. Find the best yoga center that is the most successful. Learn from the yogis that have been before you. Speak with the salespeople, speak with the marketing people, speak with the owner. They'll share their information with you. And sooner or later, you'll understand how important your position is and how important your position is if you've grown into the business. Because at the end of the day, businesses have to make money or they won't survive. How does a yogi have the guests in his class or her class end up being members?
Absolutely.
That's your responsibility. If I
Exactly.
have a yogi and we keep bringing guests to their class and no one ends up becoming a member, that's a big problem. Whereas if I have another yoga teacher, yogi, and I sent guests there, and they all want to join. To a business person, the second one is much more valuable to me. It doesn't matter if that yogi can do more advanced situations, because again, it's the client. We have to serve the client.
Exactly, exactly. So on the same time, when we are talking about such kind of business, like we are like yoga teachers associated with the back of any country, not only for India. In like a yoga teacher came from Thailand, a yoga teacher came from Vietnam or China or anywhere in the world, came from the mid side of the particular country. So if a yogi, he or she just know only about yoga, he didn't know the actual businessism. So in such conditions there are lots of yoga mafiaism, you understand? So
Mhm.
mafiaism are there, like they are interrupting the actual yoga, like they are just striving the particular yogi that you if you want to survive, I will give you only for, like they are earning $20, they just provide $10, they just provide $5 for their serving. However, they're just and humiliating the particular yoga teacher, their mindset, their whole body, they're just utilizing. What is your concern about yoga mafiaism?
You know, that is so sad, right? I mean, yoga is the highest, most powerful spiritual tradition, thousands of years old. And today we have to figure out how we're going to make a bruise or a black eye on such a sacred event. I only found out, it happened in my company. Um, One yogi said, sent a letter that I saw and said, I can't afford that to come to teach. And I didn't even know what they were talking about. This is 20 years ago. And so I followed up. I said, excuse me, what do you mean that you can't afford to come work here? We pay you. He said, well, I think, I don't remember the exact amount, but the $2,000 admission fee, my family doesn't have. And I said, $2,000 admission fee? What? I don't understand. And then they mentioned the name of the yoga person who is the broker, and said it's $2,000 to start, and every month I get a certain piece of what you make. I had never heard of that before.
Oh.
Unfortunately, when I heard about that, I actually let the yoga person from my company go. And it upset me so deeply because I really had admiration for that yogi. He was phenomenal, but greed comes everywhere. It doesn't pick and choose.
Yeah.
Um, don't get involved with the yoga mafia. Do not get involved with the yoga mafia under any circumstance. If someone has a real job for you with an association like yours, be part of an association. Ask the questions. Have them know where the best places are, who is hiring, who is paying fairly, who can help you with your immigration. Do not get involved with any type of mafia, yoga mafia, any type of situation where you don't feel good about it, because it'll just get worse. Join a proper association, ask them the questions, they'll help you facilitate your first moves, but never pay into that because it never stops.
Perfect. So it was such a great, you have a huge experience about business and about yoga and about spirituality as well, because we are looking at the three major pictures just behind you, and these gurus are absolutely one of
Do you know who this one is?
Swami Vidya Swami, Swami
Swami
something.
Veda Bharati.
Vedvarti. Okay.
Um, Let me tell you a funny yoga story
Yeah, yeah,
with
please.
Swami Veda.
Yeah.
We became very, very good friends, and I'm initiated into his lineage, the Himalayan masters. And he was staying at my house in Hong Kong. And I wanted to show him how popular yoga had become. So I had to take him through 4 floors of fitness with the music going, the Rolling Stones. It was before a Walkman. So I had the music very, very loud. And he was like, why are you taking me here? Because the yoga was on the 4th floor, escalators, not elevators. So
Yes.
5 minutes, he's in the Rolling Stones. And then we go to the yoga room and it's full. There's 100 people. Unfortunately, when I opened up the yoga door, we were teaching power yoga or whatever it was. Again, loud type of music for him. He said, what's happening? What is this? And he said to me this, he said, Eric, all the great yogis before you are turning over in their graves. You single-handedly have destroyed yoga. I said, Swamiji, wait 1 minute. I want to show you something. He said, no, let's go home. I said, just please, 1 minute. I have a reason to show you something. So the class ended, 100 people. The next class was meditation. His style of meditation, Swami style. 5 people left and 10 more or 15 more came in. So it was packed. Everyone was sitting next to each other. And I said to him, Swami, this is the precursor today of getting people to do meditation. If the meditation class was before that yoga class, we'd have 10 people.
Yes.
This is the new way. This is the new catch. Catch them and let them stay for meditation. And these people are doing your meditation. He understood, but he wasn't the type of guy say, oh, you're right. But a little smile, and they said, okay, let's go home. But that's his first impression of yoga in 2000.
Perfect. So I have to speak with my Indian audience in our native language in Hindi. So for 2 minutes, I have to speak some normal things.
Sure.
तो मेरे प्यारे भाइयों एवं बहनों, योग शिक्षक संघ अनवरत आप सभी के लिए जो कार्य कर रहा है, आप सभी को बहुत अच्छे से ज्ञात भी है। और ना केवल योग शिक्षक संघ अपितु हम सभी का ये परम कर्तव्य बनता है कि आपको पूरे वैश्विक परिविधा में चलने वाले यथार्थकृत योग की अनुभूति को आप तक पहुंचाएं। आज हमारे साथ में विश्व के एक महानतम बिजनेसमैन, एक ऐसे योगी हैं जो वास्तव में योग के उस अनुभूति को इन्होंने स्थापित किया है जो अपने आप में एक महानतम श्रेणी में गिना जाता है। ना केवल हांगकांग अपितु चाइना, वियतनाम, थाईलैंड और अमेरिका, कनाडा जैसे देशों में इन्होंने अपने संस्थान के माध्यम से पूरे विश्व को एक अलग आयाम दिया है। कैलिफोर्निया फिटनेस हो या फिर एलीट फिटनेस हो, इस तरीके की जो भी बड़ी कंपनियां हैं ये इनसे अछूती नहीं रही है। 1960 के बाद से लेके आज तक आपके सामने ये एक महानतम योगी बने हुए हैं। और ना केवल इनका जो कहना है ये योगिया माफियाइज्म पे या फिर योगी के बिजनेस पर्सपेक्टिव पे या फिर योग के एक स्पिरिचुअल फैक्टर पे, तीनों फैक्टर्स पे जब हम बात करते हैं तो ये बहुत अच्छे से इस बात को एलॉबरेट करते हैं। आज हमारे बीच में योगी एरिक है। यदि आपको कोई सवाल पूछना है तो आप कमेंट सेक्शन में जरूर लिख भेजिए। हम आपके सवाल के उत्तर को प्रत्युत्तरित करने का जरूर प्रयास करेंगे। योग शिक्षक संघ और हम हमेशा आपके सेवा भाव के लिए तत्पर हैं। आज मुझे लगता है कि योगी एरिक से जो सवाल पूछने के लिए अभी मेरे पास जो जूम में पहला सवाल आ रहा है, द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन आई गेट फ्रॉम माय इंडियन ऑडियंस टू यू योगी एरिक, दैट जस्ट लेट अस नो दैट हाउ डिफिकल्ट इट वाज टू फाइंड you in a spiritual manner, to find you in the business as a same time you are a businessman, at the same time you are a perfect yogi throughout your life. So my Indian audience just need to know that how you control and motivate yourself.
Well, thank you for that question. That's a big question. There's an author, American author, his name is Michael Singer. He wrote 2 books, Untethered Soul and The Surrender Experiment. And he says you have to look at your work as a spiritual sadhana and should never have a separation. I'm not there. I'm far from there. Let me tell you a funny story from Swami Veda. So one day, Swami Rama, his master, was building this hospital. And it was a hospital for people to come if they had no money. So before that, Swami Rama was in his robes and he was talking to the highest level yogis about something very, very important. And only he was a Shankaracharya, could talk to them. And Swami Veda was a student watching. And he saw how royal he was, like how he would sit and talk about the most important things in the universe as a yogi. And then they all left. And Swami Rama came back to the ashram. He took off his robe. He had a t-shirt and jeans, and he started yelling at the contractor because the contractor was 1 month behind and over budget. So you can see, even for a yogi like Swami Rama, he still had that
Dilemma.
struggle,
Yeah.
if you get it.
Yeah.
So I think we're all human beings. It's very important before you go into any stressful or important situation in business. Take the time. Take a time. Take a gap. Can be 1 minute. Recenter. Nadi Shodana. Whatever can recenter you for that 1 minute, and feel that first. And when you have a meeting, if you have the right, if you're in charge, ask people to close their eyes at the beginning of the meeting. Say, let's just take a breath. Let's recenter. Let's get our creativity back, and let's be quiet. Some silence for a bit. And you can start like that. In reality, you try your best to have a union of business and yoga, but it's not so easy. It sounds easy, but as we all know, it's not. Usually it comes from a lack of understanding of what you have to do. So if you're a yogi and you don't really know business, you're going to feel that stress. Stress comes from being unprepared. If you're going to teach a yoga class and you're very prepared, there's no stress. You enjoy it. You're in the center, you flow. But if you didn't know these poses, it wouldn't flow. You would have that anxiety. Learn your trade. If you're in business, learn it as good as you can. And realize that if you're teaching yoga, it's supposed to be about love, serving, making people happy, making people healthy. Now that's the end result. And you're the servant. So if you put it in that context, that I'm going to do the best that I can from my teacher's teaching, I'm going to serve my people with my heart, the stress goes because you're serving them, coming from the higher power. Try to reflect on that whenever you're stressed out, that the product that you're giving is happiness, health, and love. What could be better?
Yes, absolutely happiness.
And if they
Oh,
want to get in touch with me, my website, because they can go on my website and leave a message. My website is my name, Eric Levine Global.com, GLOBAL.com. And my email is Eric at ericlevineglobal.com. If
yes,
they
and we
want
will
to touch
provide
with
it
me.
in our comment section also. If you're required to ask any question to Global Eric, actually, so you
Yeah.
can ask it to him, and definitely he will serve you with your understandings and with your asking. So,
We can
yes,
come back and they can send you all the questions that they have, and we'll
yes,
come back and we'll answer as many of them as possible. Usually, the questions are about 20 or 30. They're almost all the same,
same, yeah.
because that's natural. And we'll do our best to facilitate them, but that would be enjoyable.
Perfect, perfect. So, Yogi Eric, really, we feel proud to have you today, and it's such a great, great session. And I'm sure that is our 15th session with you, and we are feeling proud to have you. Such phenomena that you have a huge experience, and for us, like me and like many yogis, they are much younger rather than you, and definitely they are benefited with your your wordings and your experience, so on. So definitely we will connect again in our next episodes, and not yesterday, maybe in any future, whenever you are free. So for today we are just finish our session with these Om Shanti word. So thank you so much again, Yogi Eric, to join us today, and we really feel privileged to have you. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.